Bajaj Engineering Skills Training Center, or BES, was set up to build state-of-the-art centers with world-class laboratories to enable hands-on skilling of thousands of young people, making them competent and employable. The center bridges the skill gap and reduces the challenges faced by students during the transition from academic environs to an industry setting.
The facilities that have been created under BEST are world-class, that provides truly an immersive learning experience for all sorts of trainees, thereby improving their employability and productivity at workplace. This facility is state-of-the-art and one of its kind.
The 6-month program targeting engineering graduates and the 4-month program for diploma holders blend academic learning with practical exposure. The curriculum has been designed to provide extensive hands-on training in niche and emerging technologies. Designed by the industry for the industry, this program comprises 4 modules on cutting-edge technologies like mechatronics, motion control and sensor technology, robotics and automation, and Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing. The course encompasses fundamentals of electrical engineering, electronic engineering, hydraulics, pneumatics, along with software training in software. It further builds on these fundamentals to application areas such as PLCs, industrial sensors, process control, advanced training in programming and operating different robots and cobots for various industrial applications. The All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, has approved the training programs for engineering and students equivalent to the learning outcomes and credits for the final semester courses.
I am currently pursuing BEST training program at Shastra Tanjavur. This course expanded my placement opportunities by giving me theoretical as well as hands-on experience in the subjects that's completely new to me, like robotics and automation, hydraulics and pneumatics, etc. With this, now I got placed in IP Rings Chennai, thanks to the BEST Center for making me the best engineer.
The BEST initiative by Bajaj Auto promises to equip engineers with the right tools and competencies and create the next generation of technically sound workforce to suit the future of the manufacturing sector.
The success of students in placements and the positive feedback that we have received from the recruiters is a testimony to the quality of skilling and training that is provided at the Bajaj Engineering Skill Training Center at Shastra. I'm glad that this BEST center at Shastra is turning out to be one of the best skilling and training centers in the country.
A very good Sunday evening to all, and welcome to a fresh episode of our webinars under the Career X for Gen Z series. Engineering is a highly promising career, and there is some good news too in the coming year that a 7% growth is projected in engineering opportunities. Between 2020 and 2022, engineering job openings increased by 300% in India, and it is estimated that by 2030, there will be a requirement of 30 lakh engineers who make machines, create systems and structures to make our lives easier. Well, jobs may be aplenty, but is it the right choice for you? Are you cut out to become a successful engineer? what are the qualities required, and which are the specific engineering careers that will help to build India's future. To discuss it all, we have an eminent panel for today's webinar on engineering careers for Viksit Bharat, presented by Shastra deemed to be university in collaboration with the Hindu Education Plus. I'm sure all our engineering students and aspiring professionals would be eager to hear from our experts about the emerging opportunities and the industry expectations, especially following the AI impact across sectors, and also to understand better what role will and should the engineers play to make India a developed nation. So, without wasting any further time, let me introduce our speakers who will give their brief presentations, and then we will take questions from the audience as usual. Our first speaker is Dr. John Bosco Balaguru Rayappan, the Dean of Sponsored Research and Professor in the School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Shastra Deemed University. He completed his MSc, specialization in electronics, and PhD degrees in physics from St. Joseph's College, Bharatidasan University, Trichy in Tamil Nadu. He worked as a lecturer in St. Joseph's College before joining Shastra Deemed to be University in 2003. In his current job, he helped establish and leads the Nanosensors Laboratory, supported by research grants from DST, DBT, DRDO, Ministry of Energy, and Shastra. His research interests include nanosensors, biosensors, flexible electronics, and IoT. In addition, he has been coordinating the semiconductor activities at Shastra, and so far he has published more than 385 research articles in peer-reviewed journals with 14,454 citations and an index of H index of 59. His contribution also includes one book, 15 book chapters, and 150 conference papers. He has mentored 16 PhD scholars and 60 master's students and is currently supervising 6 PhD candidates. Dr. John's innovation portfolio includes 15 patent filings with 6 patents granted, which also includes 1 US patent. He is also the co-founder of 2 startup ventures, the N Warehouse Private Limited and Redoxtronics Technologies. So Dr. John's presentation is on the core engineering areas with special focus on semiconductor and electronics manufacturing. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. John, and it's over to you.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction, ma'am. Dear parents and student friends, a very good evening to you all and greetings from Shastra, and welcome you all for this webinar. And the Gen Z students and even the next generation students who aspire to pursue engineering in the current technological era are really fortunate. They are fortunate because they will experience the convergence of multiple core engineering verticals in the form of emerging technologies. And that is why you people are fortunate. And I have just shown few examples. Say, for example, the semiconductor technology and electronic manufacturing, which itself is a nervous system of all kind of engineering verticals, the same time which is an integration of electrical, mechanical, computer, and material science engineering. Another best example is smart manufacturing. So the mechanical, electrical, electronics engineers and 5G communication, augmented reality. So all together forms this particular emerging technology. So you have the opportunity to enjoy and experience this convergence. Similarly, you take aerospace and defense, the energy system, healthcare technology, smart cities, which presents the perfect convergence. And actually, this convergence transforms the way you people are going to learn and grow. So we want, and the academia as well as the industries want you to grow as a system level thinkers and also adaptive innovators. Then you will be able to lead the transformation of our country into a Viksit Bharat by 2047. For example, take the semicon area. The older generation, we actually missed this opportunity to pursue our degrees or studies in the field of semiconductor technology. But now you have a great opportunity. After this launch of India Semiconductor Mission in the year 2021, now government has already spent 76,000 crore and 10 major companies have established the semiconductor companies across India, and the huge gap is actually the requirement of talents, and we need almost 30 lakh engineers by 2030, especially to give the fullest advancements in this particular field. If you look at this particular field, this field itself is having four major verticals. One is on a VLSI design, IC fabrication, packaging, testing, and validation. If you look at each vertical, requires a knowledge of physics, chemistry, electronics, computer programming, etc., etc. And we need actually engineers to develop these skill sets. And even today, 25% of the design manpower is actually for the whole world is from India. So, and similarly, the electronic manufacturing, which is growing at a huge rate, and by 26-27, this is going to grow by $300 billion. And again, look at the fields like PCB design, PCB fabrication, PCB assembly, which is again the convergence of many science and technology fields, which requires again huge manpower for the next 5 years. And this embedded system, now using this electronic manufacturing systems, if you develop the embedded systems, which finds applications across fields, whether you take healthcare, consumer electronics, manufacturing, energy, where we need to develop a smart system, which will be integral part of these vertical applications. And e-mobility is yet another sector. You look, which again, whether you may be an electrical engineer or electronic instrumentation engineer, mechatronic engineer, but you need to have the skill set in these verticals, and you can emerge as a core component segment engineer or infrastructure and services engineer or a supply chain stage engineer. So there are many opportunities. The current growth is, expected growth is like 83.6% of GAR. As I've already mentioned, this smart manufacturing, the perfect example. So you have robotics, drones, AR, VR, 5G communication, audio, video surveillance, all put together. This particular field has these emerging technologies have come out. And now the multidisciplinary fluency is actually not an option, but it is an essential. That is what the current, the generation should understand. And that's why I mentioned you are all really fortunate. At the same time, you need to really experience this convergence as an engineering student, wherever you join. So that's why, at Sastra, we have had multiple deliberations with industry experts, academic experts, and created these tracks. Each track is actually a combination, integration of multiple engineering verticals: firmware development, electronic manufacturing, system reliability, IC design and packaging, electric mobility, and robotics and control, RF system design engineer, cyber security engineer. See, you may be from computing background or electrical background, any circuit background, IT background, but you people will be able to take these courses and experience the convergence. But the parents and students should be aware that these, you will be able to experience by means of, with a very good infrastructure and excellent faculty. Therefore, now at our university, so we have created the facilities starting from a wafer level characterization. People will be able to design ICs using various EDA tools. And these facilities have been created so that at each and every stage, the students, whatever they do study in the theory, will be able to experience in the lab. And this is again, once the IC is designed and fabricated, then the packaging. This is a huge facility which has been recently created in the university, where the students will be able to do the complete packaging, starting from the die to a complete IC. All the processes, we provide the hands-on experience. And again, once the IC is done, when we go for a system development, as an electronic engineers, any kind of engineers, since the electronics is a nervous system, now the entire subsystem and systems can be designed by these facilities. So we provide the complete, experiential learning for this particular vertical. once the product is being developed, no, we will have to see that they satisfy all the standards, and also whether they clear all the reliability testing standards, so that it is entire process, entire product development process, from fabrication, testing, validation, and also whether it's a very high end of testing, pre-compliance, just so that you will, after testing all these things, your product is almost ready, to go to the market. So therefore, my dear student friends and parents should be aware that wherever you will be able to experience this, the latest technology convergence, then you have the better future. And not only that, the industry interaction. So the students should get the exposure in the industry. So we have more than 150 industries, collaborations with these industries. Therefore, the students can go and get the industry experience. That is very important. Not only that, traveling across the country, across the globe to other countries. So that will help a lot for the students, to visualize, to experience what is the real world, in addition to the theory what they do in the class and lab, and practicals in the lab, but also a real world experience while they travel. So I wish you all the best for the students, and to select the branch which you love, and I invite you to experience and whatever you do love. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. John, for that very informative and positive outlook. We move on to our next speaker, Mr. R. Narayanan, a senior partner and head of education and skill development at KPMG India, one of the big four accounting firms. He has a bachelor's degree from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, and a postgraduate diploma in management from IIM Bangalore. He has also completed a professional leadership coaching course from Harvard Business School. Mr. Narayanan is a member of the KPMG Global Steering Committee for Education Sector and South Asia Leader for International Development Advisory Services. With more than 30 years of experience in management consultancy and industry, he has also worked across South Asia, ASEAN, Middle East, Europe, and African regions. Apart from education, he has experience across financial services, consumer markets, technology and infrastructure, spanning multiple solution offerings, such as in business strategy, process and performance improvement, organization and change management, systems and IT strategy. Mr. Narayanan has advised the Union Ministry for Education and multiple state departments of education many times, as he has been an expert committee member of multiple policy forums to review the new education policy and the NAC reforms. He is in the board of studies of some leading universities as well. Mr. Narayanan will now talk on what it needs to succeed as an engineer while looking at the engineering curriculum beyond the technical aspect. So welcome, Mr. Narayanan, and we are waiting to hear your presentation.
So, Maji, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a lovely and a warm welcome to all of you. Thanks for sparing your time on a lovely December weekend, Sunday afternoon. I'm here, more to talk about AS, who was once upon a time an engineer in a bygone era, where things were very, very different. And what we looked at for being an engineer was very different than what it is today. But what is more important is, what is it like to be an engineer in future? We're talking about Viksit Bharat, which is about 20-25 years from now. And all of you, the students who are a part of this call, who are looking at your careers, are going to be building, shaping this next 25 years. You are going to be the architects of Viksit Bharat. So it's very important for us to know, what does it mean to be an engineer, in case you want to be an engineer, to build this Viksit Bharat for us. Viksit Bharat, as you know, is the developed India by the year 2047, which also happens to be our centenary year of independence. Now, what does it mean? Well, first we need to take a call on what is engineering, and do you want to be an engineer? And if you want to be an engineer, what are certain things that you should look at, right? And you have everyone in the family, friends, including people like us, telling you about this is what happened in engineering, this is what we used to do. And there are many corporates who come and say, this is what we are doing. All that is fine. But what does it take to be an engineer of tomorrow? right? And I'm going to speak a little about that, and then we'll see how much we can spend some time on question answers and other stuff. But before that, what is this Viksit Bharat all about? Why are things going to be different? Why do you want to be different at all? Engineering is, for all you know, is one of the oldest professions, and people know about engineering. What is going to change? There are certain things that Viksit Bharat brings in. One is a clear infrastructure development. You would have seen in the past few years, there is a very rapid growth in infrastructure, be it in cities, be it in transport, be it in trade. How do we make sure? And there are a lot of gaps. It's not as if we are anywhere close to becoming a developed nation. So one core development that you're going to see is in infrastructure. So don't believe when somebody says there is no future for civil engineers, mechanical engineers, and all the rest of it. It's just morphed and it is working in a different manner. But infrastructure development is going to be the core of building our Viksit Bharat. Second, now this is software innovation. All your previous generation, the likes of me, have grown on an era where software led the revolution, right? Many of us are products of how Y2K or year 2000 related issues and software innovation and digitization. And we are proud to say we are part of causing this digital revolution. But is it going to be the same going forward? It is going to be a lot more important. The innovation that's going to happen in software is going to be a lot more important, but not anything like what it used to be before, right? So what is the digital and software innovation? For example, what are some really good software products that you can think of has come out from India, right? Very few. I mean, fortunately, it's not none, it's very few. I mean, you are going to be part of building these things. And there is going to be sustainability at the core of everything. Growth is going to happen around sustainability, and that was not there in the past. In future, everything is going to be centered around sustainable development, ESG, and related areas. Last but not the least, our growth should be inclusive. We cannot take only a part of India forward, right? And Viksit Bharat is going to be how do we build an India that is inclusive in nature, and there's going to be a lot of emphasis on this one, both from the government and from the corporate perspective. So creative, technology-driven solutions that's going to benefit the rural, urban, and all those marginalized going to be important. So what does it mean? It means that engineering careers are evolving. It's going to be very different. Technology is going to be at the core of what you're doing, right? Take sectors. I'll spend a minute on sectors. Banking. Banking is not anywhere close to what you saw in the past. Many of you may not even know what is the branch of a bank. And some of your elders were spending a lot of time there. Process manufacturing. Things have changed dramatically. Discrete manufacturing. Robotics has taken over completely. Oil and gas, be it offshore, onshore, renewable energy, which is replacing the hydrocarbon, healthcare industry, right? And today, the way an operation is being done or an analysis is done or a drug is manufactured is very different. Automobile, there's so much talked about. We are already into semi-autonomous vehicles, going to be fully autonomous by the time Viksit Bharat happens. Building and construction, we spoke about it. Agriculture, dramatic shift happening in agriculture. And even consumer markets, which perhaps I thought was the least affected. Even there is either the product is changing or the market is changing. So all around technology is going to be the core of anything that you're going to do. And energy efficiency, what does it mean? Everywhere where you do, there's going to be this concept of are you bringing in renewable energy? Are you bringing in sustainable form? Are you making sure that it is circular in nature and all those things are going to be there? And every format of engineering, civil engineering, is going to look more like, are you building smart cities? Are you building, multimodal, transport infrastructure? Mechanical is going to be, is AI and ML, machine learning, going to be part of it? Are you going to have embedded software, IoT as a part of your mechanical engineering devices? Electrical engineering is going to look very different with robotics and automation and low voltage stuff replacing the high voltage stuff. Electronics is going to be different with quantum engineering coming in, and many of those which you don't see today. For example, cloud computing is changing the way software and computer science engineering are changing. So every part of engineering is going to be changing because of technology and sustainability. The third aspect I thought I will mention before I move, most of us are going to work in global careers. And that is a part of how we are going to build India in future. So are you ready for that? There are a lot of soft aspects when you are preparing yourself for a global career. That starts right from the day you are joining any university. engineering or otherwise, engineering most important. So what does that mean? Look at some of the careers. This is by no means exhaustive. This is more illustrative, right? A machine learning engineer, someone who designs intelligent systems, algorithms, automation for decision making. A renewable energy engineer, sustainable batteries, storing energy is going to be a huge development in future. Robotics, automation, data science and analytics, cyber security. With the way things are happening, cyber security is going to be core. Engineers are going to play a significant role in this. As you move forward, you're going to have quantum computing. This is right at the beginning. Another 4 to 5 years, by the time you guys complete your bachelor's degree, quantum computing is going to come. Quantum computing is going to come. Maybe early stages. But as Viksit Bharat approaches, this is going to be one of the biggest changes. Bioinformatics. If some of you who love biology and chemistry more, there are engineering careers for that as well. Smart infrastructure architect, autonomous vehicle. Even space. Today, many of you would know, we have started to launch satellites for the US from India. India is going to be the powerhouse when it comes to space. And already beyond ISRO, there are a lot of private organizations that are beginning to happen. All of them would need engineers who can work at that space. And it can go on and on and on. And my point is not that. Please look at emerging engineering areas. Learn what is happening there, and based on that, you need to decide on what you need to do. So that's not all. A whole bunch of non-technical stuff that are so important for an engineer. Gone are those days where they say, oh, here is an engineer, he is left-brained and he thinks in a certain manner. Logic is a part of him or her, and we don't expect, the software aspects from her. Gone. We expect engineers. Look at most of the IITs, look at most of the engineering colleges, look at Shastra. All of them are looking at building your soft aspects, be it communication, interpersonal skills. How would you are an engineer if you don't know how to communicate the great stuff that you have done? Ethics is going to be very important, and the professional responsibility that comes along with engineers. Same as it happens in doctors and chartered accountants and lawyers. Engineers are going to be looked up for being a professional, ethical professional at the end of the day. Teamwork is going to be important. You're as good as the team that you're working, be it your peers or you're going to lead if you become an engineer, and that's going to be important. And gone are those days where you think you do 4 years or another 2 years of postgraduate and you think learning is complete. Not at all. Nothing can be far from truth. You're getting into an era where there's going to be lifelong learning. Every 2-3 years, things are going to change, and brace yourself for become curious individuals. That's one of the things that you should learn in your engineering. How to become a better learner and how to be adaptable to what is changing. Creativity and innovation. Engineers are not anymore going to be those who look at a rule, design a machine. Right from the design, the creativity, the innovation is going to be expected of an engineer. Engineers are changing. And last but not the least, and this is very important, as somebody who's going into a stressful job, emotional intelligence and resilience is going to be very important. After having everything else in the right place, if you are not one of those stable individuals. So why I'm saying this here, because as you embark on your careers, please look at some of these things and look at institutions that will give you a space to, practice some of these non-technical skills and other aspects also, because they are going to be equally important for success in engineering careers. So let me kind of close by saying, what is it that you need to do at the moment? Look at academic courses. Select those courses. I just gave an example. It could be anything. If you are more, like I said, oriented towards physics, remember, engineering is nothing but application of science. It depends on what is the science that attracts you, and the application of science will lead you to what kind of courses that you should select. It could be renewable energy. If you are strong in mathematics, it could be data sciences. If you are strong in biology, it could be bioinformatics. So choose your course. Make sure you get into an institution that has hands-on experience. You cannot be in a cocoon for 4 years and expect to be a bright engineer. You need to go to a place which helps you actually access industry, give you exposure to industry, get people in industry to come and interact with you and things like that. Stay updated on online courses. Online is going to be an integral part of your life. When I say online, all I mean is it need not only be classroom, beyond classroom. Online could be your own institution. Online could be outside. Please keep your eyes and ears open for continuous learning. And last but not the least, make sure that the softer skills that I mentioned there are something which are a part of your learning. I believe like Dr. John Bosco said, you are at one of those times which is very, very exciting. If you give me a chance, unfortunately that can't happen. I would love to be a student at this stage in one of the engineering institutions, because all that I thought can be done, here is an opportunity for you to do. So please go ahead, look at the options, make the right choices in terms of institution, in terms of career, and all the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Narayanan,
Back to you, Saul.
for explaining things in such a simple manner. Our third speaker, Ms. Anamika Tiwari Chatta, is head of HR Staples India, a hub of innovation, engineering, and operational excellence. With a career spanning over 2 decades across industries, from healthcare to banking, financial services and insurance, education to retail, Anamika has expertise in mergers and acquisitions, leadership development, and cultural sensitivity. Anamika's work has consistently driven cultures of excellence, building trust, transparency, and belonging at every step. Valuing people first, inclusive environment where every employee not just thrives but succeeds, Anamika embodies this spirit, championing meaningful employee experiences and creating workplaces where passion leads to performance. Anamika lives by a simple yet powerful mantra: when people feel valued, they create their best work and build the happiest environments. Her presentation will highlight ways to decide career options after completing an engineering course. So welcome, and over to you, Anamika.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And a very good evening to everyone. As Mr. Narayanan just mentioned, you are the architects of the future, Viksit, Bharat. So welcome to this quick seminar. I will try and speak more about how you are going to choose your career, right? How you're going to choose your future. I'll pick up some of the threads that Mr. Narayanan mentioned about the continuous learning, right? It is never going to end. You think after +2 you do your engineering and the work is done? No, that's when it starts, right? And despite our years of experience behind us, we are still learning. Each day is a learning. So have that mantra with you as well, that you are learning for sure. Each day, something new. Today, we are just talking very, very quickly about what is it that you need to do to focus on your career, and what is it that you want to do, how you're going to decipher that, right? So explore different paths that match your interests and skill. Without the interest, without something that you are very passionate about, you wouldn't be excelling in that. So be sure, be clear what interests you the most. Focus on those streams, whether it is science, commerce, or arts. That is also an area that you can think about, right? So passion, as I mentioned, is the key for everything. Whether you are picking up a new job, you're picking up a new interest, or you're doing any activity, that's the key for your success. To do that, it is also very important for you to assess your strengths. What are those? Are you a person with analytical bent of mind, or you are a person who's very creative, right? As Mr. Narayanan had mentioned already, you need to think creatively as well, right? So think anything that you're improving or you're thinking differently is being creative as well. So, or you have an interest in your parents' business, or wanting to set up something new, right? That's also possible. So assess your interests. To assess the interest, there are a lot of ways to do it. We'll talk about that as well. There are, of course, various research that you need to do in terms of what kind of entrance tests that you have to get in for the right career, right stream for yourself. To assess your strengths, you can talk to various counselors and you can contact mentors. And it's a great opportunity today that Sastra University and Hindu have brought together the panel which can provide the initial steps or initial information to you. Let me just talk about a few options by career stream. Science, I'm just alluding and expanding a little more on what Mr. Narayanan already alluded to, right? So in engineering, what are the different options that you have? AI/ML is one of the biggest, most growing and most prominent interests that people have these days, and people are really focusing towards. Within the medicine side, also there are options. There is other option within science like biotechnology, pharmacy, environmental sciences, apart from data science as well. And I did hear Mr. Narayanan also mention about the EVs and all, right? So in the automotive sector, think about it. Most of the students these days talk about vehicles, automobiles. Environmental science directly connects to it now, right? It is about what is the impact, the carbon footprint that is being brought in. So apart from that, there is commerce side as well. Whether you want to be a CA, CS, take up BBAs or any MBA path, get into the investment banking, again, a very, very lucrative career. Humanities, of course, is another area, whether you take up journalism, mass comm, designing, hotel management, psychology, or law, right? So these are various streams, and within streams, these are some of the career options that you have. With this, we move to the decision making. How do you take the decision? That's the most important thing. There are multiple pathways from different exam perspectives, different ways of coaching, and different colleges will provide you all this. One such is science, and science pathway, engineering or medicine, right? So you have various entrance exams, you know about these exams, and then what are the career options? If you want, you can take a screenshot of this slide as well. It will help you in future as a reference as well, right? So there is a pure science, there is data science, there is architecture design, and what are the different entrance exams that you can take up to get into the right pathway as well. Yeah. Then we move to some of the career pathways in engineering. Look at some of the circuit-based courses. There are more than 50 plus branches, and most of them have bright future, right? Apart from the circuit-based, there is industrial engineering, there is chemistry piece as well. Think about that. And the chemistry of petroleum, mining, metallurgy, food technology, which is a game-changing activity, right? There are unique fields as well, including the naval architecture, paper technology, and some of these are already available at a click of a button for you, right? Take a screenshot. It will help you have a reference on your fingertips. Other pathways. This is another very, very interesting point out here. Some of the pathways of non-engineering, because that's not the only thing. You have more ways. Connected to math. If you love math, here are some more options for you within science. Architecture and design. Specialized fields as well, and management. So it is math related. It has some elements of math for sure, maybe non-engineering too. So various options exist. You need to explore. Most importantly, you need to know yourself, what interests you, where your interest lies. Just because your parent is your parent is an engineer, you don't need to be an engineer. Understand where your interest lies. And to understand that, get the guidance from the right set of people, from the experts. And one such expert that I am sharing with you is Lodestar, which has done phenomenal work in creating psychometric assessments, curating career information, and also supporting and helping children decide their careers, as well as guiding parents on how to navigate and support the careers of their children. Right? So, this is what I wanted to share. My best wishes to each one of you. All the very best.
Thank you, Anamika, for doling out hope to the students. Before we move on to our final speaker, I would like the audience to start posting their questions. And Soumya Suresh, the last speaker of this webinar, is an accomplished technology and business leader with over 35 years of experience in the IT industry. Currently, she is the Vice President and Head of Entry Cadre Fresher Management with HCL Tech in Chennai. A computer science engineering graduate from GCT Coimbatore and an MBA from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, she has successfully managed global engagements, partnering with leading semiconductor, telecom, and storage domain clients across the US, Japan, and Europe. A certified project management professional, a Cisco certified network associate, and Six Sigma Black Belt professional, Soumya has been instrumental in driving delivery excellence, quality initiatives, and continuous improvement programs within HCL Tech. Soumya has also contributed as an assessment team member for capability, maturity, model integration evaluations, and serves as a key sponsor for the Defect Prevention and Six Sigma Councils. In her current role as Head of Workforce Planning and EFCM, she oversees the complete fresher ecosystem from academic partnerships and internships to onboarding and deployment, shaping the next generation of engineering talent. Soumya will now talk on the practical applications of engineering. Welcome, Soumya, and we are ready to hear your presentation.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you, Soma. Thank you all, and good evening. A warm welcome to this. I'm just sharing my screen. Soma, I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all. Me being the final speaker, you will see some of the overlapping contents from Anamika and Narayan. However, the guidelines and the rules of the game remains the same, whoever tells it, right? So with that, the first thing is the career planning is something which is very important, and it has to start right from the day you get into your school, right? So the important aspects of career planning, if you look at it, aligning your interests and skills, right? In our days, I think the earlier speakers also highlighted, we only had two choices. One is either engineering or second one is medicine. And the choice of which path to take was decided by our parents. Right? So these are the two things with which, but today there is a lot of interest, there is a lot of choices available. Then setting realistic objectives. Objectives has to be set for us to succeed, not for us to explore or challenge ourselves and fail. So it is important you set a realistic objective for yourself, whichever domain which you are interested in. I am bringing in the point domain because engineering is the base for us is domain. Gone are the days that you read engineering and then you go to the industry and learn the subject. Now it is more of an integrated engineering. When I tell that, suppose if you get into if you work for a industry, if you get into a software, for example, if you're working for banking, you need to know the domain. If you're working for biomedical, you need to know the domain of the biomedical sciences. So set realistic objectives. And also the third important is look at the job markets, right? Which means it is not that something will fade out and something is booming, but you need to understand the short term, the 3 years to 5 years, which are the markets which are going to boom, and then get into those kind of market spaces. While we speak about the career planning, there are tools of how you can take care of it, right? Career assessments. Take some assessments for yourself to check which one will suit your analytical skills, your reasoning skills. Job shadowing. There is a lot of online and there is a lot of industry visits which is available. You need to visit to understand which one will interest you. Look at online platforms where you have the job postings, the career advertisements, and then decide. And also, there are also AI based interview systems. So, look at all these areas for you to decide which one will suit you the best. Engineering, I think both Anamika and Narayan highlighted, it is an application of both science and maths. And also, problem solving is one of the important things, which not only for engineering, but everything is important. But for engineering, it is a mandatory skill and innovation. Nothing is permanent. Change is only permanent, which means today, whatever is booming is become an history tomorrow. People were talking about cloud computing, and today they are talking about AI/ML. Tomorrow it can be something else. So technological innovation, you have to be more creative and innovative for you to choose an engineering path. Core skills, analytical thinking. You have to start thinking analytically, problem solving, creativity, and also teamwork and communication. One of the things in engineering is it is always a team which wins. If you are become a marine engineer, you are on a ship, then there is a crew. You have to work as a crew if there is a problem. So teamwork and communication is very important attribute for you to become an engineer. How do I choose the right specialization? Assess your personal strengths. If you are aligned towards medicine, then you can take biomedical. If you are aligned towards nature, go for geometry or anything sustainability engineering, so which is aligned to your interest. For that, you will have to explore your passion and set your career goals very clearly. Do not think that you can take the path in between, you can change. It is important you identify a path, you travel through it for some time for you to understand before you can analyze whether that is the right path or not for you. How can you do that? You cannot do it alone. Both parents and the students, you have to have some mentors, guidance, take the guidance because people have already invented. Do not try to reinvent it all by your own. You take the guidance and discuss with people, share your experiences, which will help you to identify the right engineering path. And also, even after getting into engineering, if you're facing some challenges, the mentors and counselors will help you overcome those challenges. I'm just giving a short example. Factory machine repair. Earlier, it was if you take a car, it will used to go to an assembly line and it used to get manually done. Today, there is artificial intelligence involved. So, which means you have to know about the automobile industry, which is automotive engineering. Number 2, repair, which is mechanical in nature. Number 3, artificial intelligence, which is software and technology related, because you can remotely monitor the car and then create the repair plan. If somebody says my car is under repair, it automatically points you to the nearest repair station. You can take your car to the repair station. By then, there is an analysis done and the robot is ready. If it is you are a flat wheel or any other problem, and then automatically once you put it on the assembly line, there are robotic hands which will change the part, repair your car, which means which was manually handled is totally automated, and it also integrates the mechanical part, the technology part, and also the human part of it. So don't think that anything is a single or independent. Everything is integrated. So it has to be a holistic learning for you. Sectors which are expected to grow due to technological advancements. FMCG, if you look at it, the e-commerce, which is the boom, it is going to expand by 615 billion by 2027. Renewable energy by 10%. Automobile, I think Narayan also pointed, autonomous cars are already there. it is going to grow by 9%. And then healthcare. Healthcare is the digital health platforms is going to boom by 8% by 2032. When we looked at the areas which are going to boom, which are all going to be the emerging fields, right? Software engineering, obviously, because of the AI and other advancement in technologies. Biomedical engineering, medicine is an area which is almost 80% is automated today. Then the third one is the sustainability or the environmental engineering. So the three emerging fields are software, biomedical, and environmental engineering. What are all the global trends? See, we saw the areas which are going to grow and what are all the emerging. So what is the global trends? Automation is something which is going to be the one which is to be focused. Artificial intelligence integration, I gave you an example. Renewable energy focus. We need to equip ourselves for sustainable technologies and then smart infrastructure development. So these are all the four global trends which are going to play an important factor in the engineering career. So choose one of those which will have an impact on these areas. With this, all this is fine, but two things you will have to practice. One, you will have to embrace innovation. If you say that I will use the old school of thoughts, old school of learning, I don't think it's going to work. So you have to be relevant. You have to stay relevant. So be up to date on the skills which is happening, the technological changes, where the industries are going, where the country is heading to. So you have to embrace the innovation and keep yourself abreast of what's happening and continuous learning. These two will only help you to adapt and be a successful engineer. That's it I had for today. And thank you so much and all the very best.
Thank you, Soumya ma'am, for the detailed presentation. I think I will straight away dive into questions, and quite a few have come in. I'll start with one very basic question, which Ramadurai Ramaprasagam has asked. Like, is it enough to be a graduate, engineering graduate in the Viksit Bharat scenario, or would you suggest that no one needs a post-graduation degree also first? So, Mr. Narayanan, would you like to answer that? Whether it's better to be a graduate, is graduation enough, or one should also first finish post-graduation?
Even post-graduation is not enough, let me tell you. So the way things are happening, it doesn't matter whether you call yourself a graduate or a postgraduate. Things have moved now. Industry is saying, are you capable or not? If you have the competency, yes, you need to have graduation and post-graduation and the likes of it. But what is more important is to build competencies. There are so many other avenues also for learning. So at least as long as you are in industry is not fixated with academic titles. I mean, till some time back, IIMs only gave a diploma, and whereas universities gave a postgraduate degree, but a diploma in management was considered far better than a postgraduate degree. So don't get too stuck on whether it is graduate, whether it is postgraduate. I think you should focus on what are you learning. Sometimes a very good graduate course will equip you with a lot of skills, and many times it doesn't. Then you will have to go for a post-graduation. But what is important, whether it is graduation or post-graduation, are you learning? And are you learning something that is relevant to the industry? So stay focused and stay connected with the industry, and that will tell you whether you need to do a post-graduation or not.
Dr. John, I'll ask you this question from Kabilan, who says that things are changing very fast, and often by the time we understand the change, it has already further moved on. So how do we prepare our students? How do our universities kind of prepare our students early so that they're not left behind, but are able to contribute meaningfully to the nation? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. To address this, we meet, we give the orientation to the students every year when they start their first year, second year, and we tell them what are all the changes happening in each verticals and what kind of skill sets are required and what are all the value added programs they can do, what kind of implant training they can take. So this we do train them, almost we provide them this input every semester, of course. So once they are in the second year, normally they are in a little confused state where which specialization where I can go. But at the end of second year, based on our input and their own experience and strength, they could decide where I can actually specialize from the third year onwards. That naturally happens as we go in the regular flow.
Both Anamika and Soumya, maybe I would put this to you. Like generally what happens is project engineers, like they're involved in every stage of planning and to procuring, to designing, to execution. And it may not always be easy. And as you also mentioned in your presentations that you have to have that ability to critically think, you have to have analytical minds so that you're able to, solve problems and provide solutions. So do you think that it is really mandatory for all our prospective engineers, like they have to be taught to be rational enough and they have to be able to provide like innovative or cost-effective solutions? I mean, how do we produce every year so many engineers, but how do we really develop engineers who are system thinkers?
See, one of the things, at least, let me go first. See, one is whatever is being taught either in school or in a university, it is only an education, but we have to practice it. Is number one. So nowadays, if you look at in all the engineering institutions, there is a lot of avenues for them to prepare themselves for the corporate, from the campus to the corporate. So it is important that they focus on developing not just the engineering, the academic subjects, but also it is a 360-degree understanding and the ability, which means problem solving and management and soft skills. So all these areas has to be equally developed for them to be successful. However, analytics will be the base which they can develop in parallel, but that is not the only mandatory thing for them to be successful.
Totally agree with Soumya here. Right? Everything is rooted in common sense. So when education, when the competencies are being built, the skills are being built, it is important to learn how to apply it, be logical, and simplistically rational on why you are doing of what you are doing. It's as simple as that, right? So, and just to summarize, it's all common sense. So for students, they need to know what is their aptitude, where is their inclination, where is their interest, to follow it, and that will help them decide the logical sequence of when to do, what to do, and how to do. Right. So, yeah.
Dr. John Kabilan is asking whether it's true or not, and if so, why is it that fewer students prefer core branches today? And how can this mindset be changed? Does it have anything to do with the job prospects or higher salaries?
No, it is always, nothing wrong in joining the core engineering. It is good to join the core engineering. At the same time, what are all the specializations or what are all the tracks they select in the core engineering matters a lot. So, for example, an electrical engineer is doing electrical engineering as a core engineering, but they have the opportunity to specialize themselves in EV or in smart grid or in energy systems, energy distribution systems. So there are many verticals in the core engineering. So that they will have to select. So normally when they go through the programs across institutions, say here at Sastra, we give core electrical engineering, some verticals where specialization. Even for mechanical engineering, they can take a digital manufacturing. And they can take, a robotic specialization. So, and industry 4.0 specialization. So it is not now all the core engineerings are having a lot of specialized tracks that will give them a lot of opportunity to gain a specialized, a knowledge of convergence. Therefore, they need not worry about the lower salary at all.
I think I'll again come back to Mr. Narayanan because a lot of questions are centering around, though each of you has also mentioned which are the emerging career options or which are the better, among the top engineering courses, but still people want to know like which is the most popular engineering course with the highest scope. I mean, much of it, of course, I do understand depends on, people's career goals and aspirations. But then there are questions like, is it computer science engineering, or as you mentioned, infrastructure development? And there are a lot of questions about students are confused. They are doing mechanical engineering, they are doing ECE. So what career path should they choose? So since we're a little short on time, I'm just combining. And if you could just give a comprehensive answer.
If you go by statistics and you ask me what is the most popular course in engineering today, it is computer science and engineering. But 2 points. One, that doesn't mean computer science engineering is the only course that can give you future prospect. And two, more important, what is relevant today is not something that is going to be equally relevant tomorrow. So hence my answer to you, or all those who ask this question, I also saw a lot of questions being asked there, and rightly so, because there is this almost like a trend of people choosing computer science and engineering and something related to it as a part of it. Well, there is some logic in that, because that's going to be a core of everything. So even if you choose a civil engineering, the civil engineering is not going to look like what it was in the past. There are going to be a whole bunch of computational stuff that's going to get into it. Similarly, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and other stuff. So my suggestion is, look at your passion. Eventually, you're going to do well in what brings the best in you. In whatever you select, don't go to an institution that has not revised their curriculum. Don't go to a college that has not looked at the modern or the emerging technologies and have embedded that in their curriculum. So more than asking what branch, any branch of engineering is good wherever there is this prospects of industries that we mentioned, but ensure that the curriculum includes the latest that are happening in technology as a part of it.
Anamika, you sorry, yeah, please, ma'am.
Maybe I would just like to add
Mr. Narayan. One of the thing is the domain is something important which I would like to again reiterate here. So as I gave the example of that autonomous car which and the repair system, support system, it is important that you understand the base domain rather than the IT part of it. Because computer is intervened, but the domain is what will keep you relevant in the long run and make you an expert in a specific field. So identify the field, identify the domain, and focus on your developing the expertise in that domain would be my advice.
Just to add on the mechanical engineering piece, right? So I ended up just going through the questions that people had written. Somewhere somebody has written, I want to do mechanical engineering, but I don't know whether I have options, good salary and all that stuff. And I just want to put that point there. Mechanical engineering is again a very, very important field where, robotics is a big piece which is coming up, right? And the mechanical engineering can get you into that as well, robotics or mechatronics as well, right? There is a renewable energy piece to it, to the mechanical engineering. Design engineers are also very, very much in demand, right? So think about it. Mechanical engineering is absolutely great to pursue as well, right? You need to have that flair. That's important.
I'll stick to you, Anamika. Yeah, sorry.
Mechanical engineering is in demand.
Yeah.
And we don't get good mechanical engineers, at least, from an HCL perspective, I'm speaking. Getting mechanical engineers is very difficult these days.
Yes, exactly.
Nowadays, let's add this word called smart engineers. Now, any branch that you choose, as long as you're not smart professions, which means if it is mechanical engineering, robotics, machine learning, IoT are an integral part of mechanical engineering. Gone are those days where you work with a lathe machine or a big drawing board in which you keep drawing. So that's all gone. You need to do 3D, And where does the 3D imagery comes? Only when you use a computer and a software associated with it, right? And similarly, I can go on. Even computer science and engineering, right? It's not one a big black hole that people go fall into that computer science and engineering, everything is bright after that. Within computer science and engineering, coding is passive. What do they teach in computer science and engineering is going to be very important. So please choose your course only after looking at what is being taught. My thinking at the moment, with the right combination, civil, mechanical, electrical, which are some of the core engineering subjects, are going to have a fantastic career, provided you learn what is relevant to the industry as a part of your engineering career.
So there is a related question which says that despite what you are saying, and maybe people do understand, agree that majority students join computer science just because it is popular, and even if they don't like mathematics or learning deeply, and they may even get good jobs. But then this is a very kind of a philosophy-laced, profound question that can they really contribute to the nation in the long run? What is it that we need to change? So who would like to go for it first?
Because there is a movie called 3 Idiots that has already been very popular. I don't want to second guess it. Anything that you do that you don't like will not last you for long. And this is something, as somebody who's been in this profession for long, and you ask anybody who's been in this, they'll tell you, you continue with something that you don't like, irrespective of how bright it is, you'll fail. So please don't take something just because your friend is taking it, just because somebody told you to take that. Please join only, and you know what? I think one of the speakers said, I don't know if it is Soumya Suresh, that in our times parents told us what to do, right? And the reason is there were not so many information sources. If I want to know something like what Shastra is going to offer, I had to go all the way to Shastra and find out from them. And there was this thick prospectus that I need to buy and browse through other things. Now, when I'm speaking, before I end the sentence, you can know everything that is happening in Shastra. So you have information about pretty much anything that's going to happen. You have information about what organizations are looking at for hiring. I mean, that's 4 years from now, so whatever. Some of you are in the middle of engineering, some of you are completed the course, also ask this question. Information you have, so use that. On that basis, choose wisely.
The other point you need to look at is popularity is different, sustainability is different, right? First thing is, if by popular, if all of us join, it is very easy that we will drop out, right? One is success. Second one is, if you are going to do something which is not of your passion or interest, the contribution to the nation will automatically fall apart, right? Only if you do what you like, then you can also contribute both to the society and to yourself. So let us be transparent and trustworthy to ourselves, choose the right area and work towards it. That will automatically bring in the success to all of us.
On a lighter note, it is not engineering. If you want to be really bright, successful, popular, and be known to everybody, then you should be a cricket or a movie star. That doesn't happen to everybody, right? So what succeeds for someone else, please don't take that as a gospel truth or something that everybody should follow. Of course, please consider there is some sense in somebody saying why computer science and engineering has been popular. And also believe and also understand that there is a lag. What people join today are the decisions that they had taken 4 years back. Please remember that. People who are graduating today had taken the decision 4 years back. When you take a decision now, please understand those who are looking at choosing in 2026, you're going to see your career start in 2030 at a minimum or beyond. Look at the changes that are going to happen and choose wisely.
Yes, it's a very valid point. Dr. John, I'll shift the focus a little bit on research because there's a question from Vineet Valsalan who says that what is the scope for doing research in Indian and US universities? And he has also completed, I think, data science and CSC, so he's asking for options.
Yeah, no, we have been really, as a country, we have been really doing good, in the vertical research vertical, And we really encourage, even undergraduate students to carry out research. We provide opportunities across institutions. Say, for example, at even Sastra, we encourage, and the research infrastructure has grown, significantly in the last, 15, 20 years, and a lot of opportunities for the students too. Of course, once they have done the PhD, they can go for postdoctoral experience for a couple of years or more, and then they can come back and contribute to the growth of the country. But across, now the quantum computing, there is a mission. Yes, the government of India has allocated a huge fund for quantum computing. Like that, for every emerging vertical, the government of India has allocated fund for research. So yeah, it is really, many higher institutions, higher education institutions in India offer the basic research as well as the applied research, including the emerging quantum computing area. Opportunities are huge in the country.
So I'm just avoiding these questions. Maybe you could take them later because they're very specific and repetitive questions like in what sector chemical engineering has scope, where does mechanical engineering has scope, where does civil. So all of you have also answered them in bits and process. Also, there are questions about admission into Shastra University. Maybe you could, take them up. Basically, there are a lot of questions which are repeating and very specific to the students' interest. But there is one question which I think I'll end with, which is talking about integrated programs. The new education policy now talks about integrating education or multidisciplinary approach. So how does that help in furthering a career prospect? I mean, I think all of you can give your 2 bits on that.
I will go first. Mechatronics is an example, right? We were talking about mechanical and electronics. Now we have mechatronics. So which means the integration of the mechanical and the electronics is required in the current technological development what we have. So that way we need to look at the combination of courses, the sandwich courses, the integration courses which are available, which is relevant to the current industry requirements and take it. So just going back to the earlier example of computer science is intertwined with all the engineering disciplines. So instead of taking computer science as a standalone, they can take as AIML or biomedical combined with computer science, mechanical combined with electronics. Like that, a combination will help them to excel, would be my guidance here.
Yeah. So integrated programs, actually, you can consider in 2 ways. One is like BTech and MTech integrated. Though there are programs where they can do 5-year integrated programs. So that is one aspect. The other one, what Soumya ma'am has mentioned, is like, electronics and communication engineering with the cyber physical system, and AI with robotics is another way of, and this electronics engineering, VLSI itself is, where you need to know electronics, material science engineering, little concepts on mechanical engineering. So in the undergraduate itself, there are multidisciplinary programs. But in addition, if they want to do MTech programs, so instead of BTech 4+2 years, they can join some programs, say medical nanotechnology, some biotechnology programs, which they can join after +2. Then they can complete these integrated programs in 5 years. Even in the MSc data science, for example, in the science program also, now there are integrated programs. So at such they will be able to complete their masters in 5 years.
So this is also same as the dual degree program?
It is not dual degree. So dual degree, it's a little different, where we go with, 2 institutes can offer a kind of Indian institute and an institute in abroad. But these integrated programs in the same institute, but instead of 4+2, they will be able to complete as 4+1. Because 7th semester, they will complete all the UG courses. And then the 8th, 9th, 10th, they will complete the PG, so that in 5 years they will be getting the degree, master's degree.
Yeah, one aspect we've left in which I would like a quick round on that is, AI is the future of the world and it's going to dominate and run many industries and sectors. So that is one fear where a lot of people have expressed. I mean, will it really take away jobs? And if so, in which sectors of, engineering? So this is what would be your advice to students?
I would like to quote my CEO, right, Roshni Nada. right? She has very clearly mentioned that AI/ML is not going to take away jobs, but we are equipping our engineers, our talents, our employees to upskill themselves to handle AI/ML. So if you ask me, AI/ML is not going to take away jobs, but whatever the innovation and the technology and preparing ourselves is important. If we are not going to be relevant in any context, then automatically we will stay back.
Thank
Tell you
you.
what,
AI,
It's a fantastic point that Soumya has mentioned. Being relevant is the key. AI ML is going to be an enabler. Continue to learn, upskill yourself. That would be the key. And you are the ones who will be driving this AI and ML, nobody else. You are the future and the architects of Viksit Bharat. So AI would just be a driving force for you.
Yeah, like we were discussing, like it better be used as a tool to assist and not as a substitute. And if we do that, as ma'am, I think Soumya ma'am was saying, that you yourself will become a substitute soon. So I think we'll have to wind up the program because of time shortage. So I think everybody clearly understands that to secure a future-ready engineering career, one has to be also innovative with a good communication skill, be able to think rationally and analytically, and also stick to their interest. Engineering offers, no doubt, a powerful combination of financial reward, job stability, and the chance to build and shape the future, making it a highly recommended career choice. Thank you so much, Dr. John, Mr. Narayanan, Ms. Soumya, and Ms. Anamika for your valuable inputs. I'm sure the participants are returning with some key takeaways beneficial for their career choices. There are a lot of unanswered questions which you could kind of directly reply to them. So today's webinar on emerging opportunities for Viksit Bharat was jointly presented by the Hindu Education Plus and Shastra deemed to be university under the Career X for Gen Z series. Thank you all once again.
thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. All the very best.
Thank you. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you.
Mhm.